Keith, 3-2 defeat here at Eastbourne Borough, a game that I think first half we started quite brightly and we were on top creating chances, but I feel like once the Nash needed that sort of treatment halfway through their first half and they had a bit of a chance to talk tactically on the touchline, I think it sort of changed the game and they scored, didn't they? And what do you think of that?
Yeah, and if you're talking about the first half, yeah, I thought we were very good to start. They played the boy Nash in the pocket, so we outnumbered them in the midfield area, and it worked, you know, with Manny and Charlie and Andy Freeman in there. We moved the ball well. Then he got injured, so they put a natural centre mid in there, the 8, and he was more effective because he was more defensive. So they changed it by default, really, is the best way to describe it. But I felt the first half, I felt we were wasteful. You know, we moved the ball really well. We got in good positions down the sides. We give the ball away. We run it out of play. You know, I can't have any excuses for it, really. At this level, we should be better on the ball. And I just felt that when we had the momentum, which we were in for about a good 25 minutes, in that momentum, we had chances to create, but we didn't. We picked the wrong choice. We run the ball out. Like I said, we give the ball away a lot in higher positions. So then you get a bit risky. So then you move the ball and then you have the boys at the back trying to link play up when they should be just doing their job. And then you get done with a sucker punch with a goal is scored. You know, listen, the 7 kids seemed a good player, but to round up the first half, you know, to have the ball so much and to play actually really well, to go 1-0 down, it's a real disappointment. You know, he came across the box unchallenged. Through 2 players, he came across the box unchallenged and he got a shot off. You know, today when we were playing against that, you know, we're running in the bodies, they're throwing their bodies in front of it, you know, and it just looked a little bit too easy for my liking, the first goal. But we were still in it, you know, and that's what we said to them at half time. We were still in the game by far, we're still in the game. And it would have been like I said, and that's what we drilled in them at the half time.
You know, we'll go into the second half as well. Like, obviously made a triple change at the break with Ryan and Freddie and Nat all coming on, and it worked because we obviously grabbed that equaliser 4 or 5 minutes into the second half, so it had the desired effect. So you must have been happy with the overall reaction from the side.
Yeah, obviously the heat, and with Manny with his chest, he had a bit of problem with his chest, so he couldn't carry on in the second half. So that was a forced change. We just felt we needed being 1-0 down and having so much of the ball, we needed another attacker on the pitch, so we put Freddie on. Obviously with the 7 doing so well in the first half, their only really danger, we felt that Wan should go in his natural position. But I will say, like, you know, the second half started okay, but I felt that, you know, again, their goal, I'll be absolutely honest with you, their goal, the lad took the corner kick here, he takes it, we clear the ball out to the halfway line, close about 10 yards from the halfway line, and then we just run out aimlessly. We run out and nobody picks them up, and the ball's just literally under no pressure. We come up without our markers, and we don't pick him up, and he picks the ball up, and from my position I can only see done the goalkeeper at the near post, so I don't know until I see that one back. But is it a good finish like the first one? Probably yes, I don't know, you know, but he should never have gotten that position. I'm being absolutely brutally honest. He should never have got himself in that position, because we run out without picking our markers up, and that's the schoolboy error from us. And that we've been, what's the best way to describe it? We've been really good for 2 games defensively, you know, but today sometimes you got to give the team you're up against a bit of credit, and they were better second half. Their movement was better. They cut the ball inside into midfield better, you know. But they couldn't have been any worse. Is probably the best way to describe it. As their manager would probably say, they were much better second half, because they had to get better. And we did say that the boys there they will have to change it against us. But for me, the pattern of the game stayed the same. We had the ball a lot. We run into players, our choice on the ball, you know, instead of taking the ball away from people wide, you know, we run into people. When the ball went into feet, we run the ball out of play. We lost it a lot. We lost the ball a lot going forward. And the bright spot was probably obviously Freddie coming on. I thought he'd done well. Good movement, experience. But apart from that, you know, and then, like I said, I'm hardly going to let you talk here, but the third goal was so poor, and you know, whether it's a penalty or not, it should never really got there. We had good possession of the ball, we played the ball out to the wide of the pitch. Again, we lose the ball wide again, you know, but we lose it on the halfway line, so there's a lot of work to be done. And then next minute it's inside our box, it's off a knee. It's not good enough for me, you know. Whether the referee give it a penalty or not, Aidan has to go for it. He has made a challenge, he has won the ball, but he reckons it's overzealous. The referee's viewpoint was, I wasn't sure, but what I looked at, it looked like a penalty, but it has to be clear. It has to be clear and obvious then, surely. If he's not sure, he doesn't give it. I felt my keeper had to go for it, but I'm not happy how they ended up there in the first place. And then, like I said, we have a bit of a rally again, which we should, because we had so much of the ball that we can only have ourselves to blame. You know, we're always positive on the bench. We're always positive in terms of the substitutions we make. We were good at it last year, but we're bringing on players who have to make an impact. Freddie did. I thought Mikey done well when he came on, but we need to keep the ball better in all areas to win games of football away from home, and we didn't do that enough.
I just want to quickly touch upon Freddie as well. I know you've already mentioned him a bit already, but obviously you brought him on in the second half and he was involved in the equaliser, winning the ball back, forcing the shot. I'm not sure the keeper was expecting the shot to come in quite as early, which shows that experience. And I think he linked up quite well with Bradley up there and playing just behind him. And as you mentioned, that experience as well. So, and to get his first goal for Brentwood today as well, you know, putting us back in there and giving us a fighting chance. So he's been happy with his performance today.
Yeah, I mean, listen, that first half performance was very good from us. It wasn't good enough in certain areas. That's the individual. That's the individual's choice on the ball. Individuals. Yeah. So you have to be man enough to accept it. You know, we made the substitutions because of it, and there's no arguing point. We felt that the right back should have done better for their goal. You go in half time 0-0. It's a different conversation. We felt that we had to make a substitution to the left because we weren't good enough on the ball. You know, we felt that we had to, obviously Manny coming off, we were positive in bringing Freddie on. We could have gone negative and we could have gone defensively. They had done that in the first half. When their player came off, we didn't. We went, again, we go for the game because we want to. And then, like I said to them I'll finish off with like we said to them in the changing rooms after, that because we've gone high and we want to go and try and get back into the game. We're always trying to get back into the game, so it makes us look not in control of the game. You know, we're trying to force the ball, we're trying to get wide, we're trying to get crosses in the box, we're trying to move the ball forward because we're chasing a game of football, and that makes us look a bit open, which we shouldn't be. You know, and then that's how the second half unfolded in the last 20 minutes, because we're chasing the game again, because we've gone a goal down and a goal down from our own poor play defensively. So, and then it makes it look like, you know, where first half I thought we were very in control of the game at 0-0. It only took us to hopefully be better on the ball in certain areas, which we weren't, but we should have stuck to our guns. The game should have stayed the same, and that's the disappointment. That's the disappointing thing in it. For me, that's the biggest disappointment, where if you're in control of a game, stay in control of the game. And that for me, I don't think we did. And it's not a bad team. He's an experienced manager, but I said to my assistant and my coach Alex and Scouse that were they worth 3 goals on the day? Probably not. Were they good enough to win the game? Probably not. But were we good enough to win the game as well? You know what I mean? So you got to hold your hands up sometimes. We can't always be the other team being poor. They were okay today, Eastbourne, but not brilliant. You know, not from my point of view anyway. And we had too many in too good an areas having an off day for us today.
And we've been going for a while, but I want to quickly touch upon Enfield next weekend. And there's a chance to put things right, get 3 points back on home turf. Had a couple of players missing this afternoon, obviously no excuse, but it's a chance to get them back on the training pitch again, reintegrate them into the squad, and you know, hopefully we
we go again. Like I said, I just feel that we had a steady game and a good game against Burgess. We were strong and controlled it. Came out worthy winners at the end. There was no argument on a really hot day. Tuesday night against Dartford, like I said, we were dominant and we were so unlucky in that game, and the ball never fell for us. Today, again, like I said, the performances aren't that bad. It's the individual bit of spark. It's the individual choices on the ball that are punishing us at the minute, because we're not commanding the game enough in them areas where we should, because we've got the ball at our feet. We've got good possession of the ball in good areas further forward, and we're not dominant enough. We're too easily either pushed off the ball, or we're too easily to give the ball away, or we're too rushed in what we do, and that is my biggest frustration, because the first 2 games of the season, like I said on Tuesday night, the Dartford game at their place, there was only one team that was good on the night. For 92 minutes of that game against Dartford, we run the game, and that's hard to do away from home. So I'm just disappointed today that it's a game that we should have done better, and we should have got something out of. We'll do our best in the week. Tuesday and Thursday we'll work hard, and we'll do our utmost to try and get 3 points at the weekend. That's for sure.
Yeah, good. Obviously disappointed first and foremost to lose the game. First half was quite tight. They probably got a goal against the run of play, and then they got on top a little bit, and then the gaffers made 3 changes at half time, and as a sub you're just trying to come on, make an impact, and I think all 3 of us did to start, and then obviously we got the goal back with Sachi, and then just sort of got away from us a little bit. They got the second, then the third, then we got one back late, and then we just couldn't get that final goal.
And what was the sort of message said to you at half time to make an impact?
Just to go on and try and make a difference. The game was quite tight, as we said, and obviously you come on, you're watching the game, you're trying to be ready, and I've come off the bench twice now trying to make an impact, and I thought I did that today.
I think, as you say, the game got away with us a little bit with those 2 goals, but I think we were creating chances, and there was moments that we had. It just again, not an excuse, but it just didn't seem to go our way in that second half either, did it? Yeah,
probably just that final touch. I had 2, which one should probably do better with. Second one, you get it on target, you never know. So we did have a few nearly moments, but we're probably disappointed coming away, conceding 3 goals, scoring 2, and obviously not getting anything from the game.
But you also must be happy with your individual sort of performances. I know it's a team game, but you got your first goal for Brentwood as well. So can you talk us through that moment? Yeah,
buzzing, to be fair. Obviously, as a forward player coming in, your first goal is probably the hardest goal. So delighted to get off the mark so early. Obviously, run off the back of Eastbourne I've played with over the years at Colchester, and yeah, good finish. Just disappointed that it's not come in a game where we win the game. So really happy, feeling fitter and fitter by the week. Obviously I feel like I'm a week or 2 behind where I want to be, but getting a good load of minutes this week, so 45 today, and raring to go for next week now.
Yeah, and obviously you signed for us just before the season started, and how have you found integrating with the team and getting to know everyone?
Yeah, it's been great. Really good club, manager, staff, the boys. Obviously I knew Sachi before coming here, so quite easy to mix in, and yeah, the boys have been great. Obviously had such a great year last season, and that was the attracting part of coming to Brentwood Town. This is a club that's on the up. Everything that's going on at the minute it's looking positive, and now it's just down to us to start getting results and putting smiles on people's faces again.
And speaking of putting smiles on people's faces, we've got a chance to do that on Saturday next weekend against Enfield Town at home. It's an opportunity for us to put things right. And so what sort of test are you expecting from an Enfield side, from your experiences?
Yeah, it'll be tough. Obviously, another team that's come down from last season. The new manager, I know we played them at Waltham Abbey last year. Manager likes to play football, so it'll be a tough game. But we're going to go positive. We've actually played quite well in the first 3 games, despite only winning 1 game. So still positives to take from that, but I think we're ready to go at home next week and hopefully get to play a little bit more, a fresh start, and hopefully get some more goals.